The ocean has a lot of ways to end a life, but its warning always sounds the same, a single, endless roar that swallows every other noise. It drowned out my crew's screams, the cracking of the ship's frame, even the frantic beating in my own chest. My vessel, the Odyssey, split apart 10 minutes ago, maybe 10 hours. When you're drowning, time is the first thing the sea steals from you. I drifted alone, clinging to the last piece of floating wood. Hypothermia crawled through my body like a quiet predator, starting at my toes and slowly numbing everything in its path. Every wave hammered me harder, trying to rip me away from the world I still desperately wanted to cling to. A part of me accepted it. There was never rescue in storms like this. There was no miracle coming. So I did the only thing left. I finally let go. Not by choice, but because my strength slipped away. The cold swallowed me instantly. My ears rang with pressure. My chest burned as the last air in my lungs turned to fire. Darkness crept around my vision, and I knew this was the final moment. Then, everything changed. The storm's roar faded. A strange silence surrounded me, deep and unnatural. And from below, a blue light began to rise, soft, ghostly, alive. For a second, I thought I was seeing the afterlife, but what emerged from the depths was nothing heaven would claim. She rose like a nightmare carved into the shape of a goddess, a towering figure, part woman, part something far older. Her skin shimmered in shades of blue and silver, decorated with strands of seaweed and black pearls. Two massive curved horns crowned her head like obsidian blades. Her face was flawless, sharp, beautiful in a way that felt dangerous, and her lower body was a tail, scaled with colors that shifted like oil on water. She stared at me, not with anger, but with calculation. My lungs were seconds from collapsing. Darkness tightened around my eyes. She drifted closer, gliding through the chaos of the sea as if the storm didn't exist. She grabbed my shirt with a grip that was gentle yet absolute. I tried to struggle, but my body was already surrendering. Her lips touched mine, not softly, not humanly. Something cold and alive slid down my throat like a serpent. My body convulsed. I tried to scream, only to swallow more water, and then I could breathe. The pain vanished in an instant. The water became air. The sea embraced me instead of crushing me. She pulled back, her expression unreadable. And then her voice filled my mind, not spoken, but pressed directly into my bones. "You have been chosen." Her words echoed inside my skull, not as sound, but as pressure, a pulse from the deep itself. The surface is no longer your home. The abyss claims you. Before I could react, she wrapped her arms around me and dragged me downward. Faster than sinking, faster than falling. The ocean darkened layer by layer until the last trace of sunlight vanished completely. The pressure should have crushed me into nothing, but the strange gift she forced into my lungs shielded me. For the first time, I could see in perfect darkness. Shapes moved around us, flickers of pale light, shadows with too many limbs, creatures no science book had ever dared to imagine. They did not attack, they followed, they escorted us like some royal procession. Because she was their queen, her presence radiated an ancient warmth that kept the cold from killing me. And as she dragged me deeper into her world, I saw it. Her kingdom. It wasn't built. It had grown. Black coral towers twisted upward like ribs from a giant skeleton. Fields of glowing anemones waved silently, casting green and violet swirls through the water. At the center stood a palace carved from one enormous mountain of abyss stone, glowing faintly with pulsing veins of bioluminescent minerals. Welcome to Nolius.
Welcome to Nolius, your tomb.
Her voice whispered inside my mind. Your tomb, and your cradle. She pulled me through the massive gates. Her subjects lined the halls. Amphibious humanoids with glassy eyes. Crab-like beings with shells etched in runes. Eel-bodied creatures that floated upright like priests. Every one of them bowed to her, and stared at me with curiosity that felt disturbingly close to hunger. I was not a guest. I was something they had acquired. She dragged me into a cavern where a throne rested, not of gold, but the fossilized skeleton of a creature so huge I could barely comprehend its shape. Coiled around it, like a serpent guarding an ancient relic, she sat. Then she threw me at her feet. My voice came out as a distorted gurgle, but she understood the question buried inside it. Why me? Her expression remained still, cold, clinical, like a scientist studying a rare specimen.
Your kind is fragile, temporary,
She said.
but inside you is something my people have lost.
Adaptability, chaos, change. Dark tendrils unfurled from her shoulders, stirring the water around me.
I am the last of my lineage. My consorts turned to dust ages ago. My race is fading.
She leaned closer, her glowing eyes dissecting every inch of me.
I require new fire to mix with my cold blood. A beginning.
My stomach dropped as the truth hit me. I wasn't saved. I was selected. She didn't want a prisoner. She wanted a mate, a vessel, someone to rebuild her dying kingdom. Her intentions settled over me like the weight of the entire ocean. Not mercy, not compassion. Purpose. I was not here to live. I was here to be used. 2 guards, pale, eel-skinned creatures with long webbed arms, dragged me into another chamber. Unlike the throne room, this place felt disturbingly gentle. The floor was soft white sand. The walls were covered in warm, glowing coral that pulsed like a heartbeat. It wasn't a cell. It was a nest. For the first few days, or weeks, I refused to eat. The food they brought looked like glowing plants and strips of dark flesh that dissolved on my tongue like mist. But hunger here felt different. It wasn't a sensation. It was an emptiness that scraped from the inside out. Eventually, survival won. I ate. I waited. And while I waited, my transformation began. The first signs were small, my skin turning pale enough to see every vein with unnatural clarity. Then came the changes to my eyes. The darkness no longer bothered them. I could see everything, the drifting currents, the dust-like organisms shimmering in the water. Soon the glow appeared, a faint shimmer across my arms and chest, like pearlescent scales forming beneath the skin. My nails darkened, hardened. The fine hair on my body shed away, leaving my skin smooth and adapted to the water. I was no longer human, but not one of them either. Something in between, a hybrid made for a purpose I didn't want. The worst part was the silence. The deep ocean had no voices of its own, no wind, no footsteps, no echoes. Only the slow thud of my heart, heavier, slower with each passing day, and sometimes far away. Her song, a psychic melody that slid into my mind like a cold whisper. Not painful, but impossible to ignore. It reminded me why I was here, what I was becoming. I wasn't a prisoner waiting for death. I was livestock being readied for a ritual. She never visited me during this time, but I always felt her watching. Sometimes, my thoughts would stutter, a memory pulled forward without my permission, examined, then released. She was learning me, dissecting the human inside before stripping it away. I lost track of days, or weeks, maybe months. The concept of time dissolved without sunlight. My job, my family, my friends, all of them faded like dreams after waking. Only the abyss remained. Then, one cycle, the guards returned. But this time, they didn't drag me. They escorted me, almost ceremonially. My body, thinner, glowing, adapted, moved effortlessly through the water. The queen's entire court gathered in a massive cavern. And there she was, waiting for me in the center of a shimmering pool, her horned silhouette wrapped in swirling luminescence. She spoke directly into my bones.
Your body is ready. The vessel is prepared. It is time to begin what you were made for.
I realized then, this would not be an act of passion. It would be a ritual, and I was just one of the ingredients. The pool she led me into didn't feel like water. It felt like stepping into a void, weightless, formless, silent. The queen drifted toward me, her iridescent skin glowing with shifting colors as the cavern darkened around us. She placed her hands on both sides of my head. Her claws grazed my skin, not painfully, but with deliberate control. Then the visions struck, not images. Entire histories poured into my mind like a shattered dam. My people did not begin on this world. Her voice whispered through the visions. We fled here. I saw stars collapsing into darkness. Civilizations made of pure light screaming without sound. A cosmic force devouring entire galaxies. A presence known only as the Silence. A hunger that consumed creation itself. Her race, beings of energy and thought, fled to Earth long before humans existed. They hid in the deep ocean, becoming physical creatures to escape detection. But time eroded them. They weakened. They stagnated. We cannot fight anymore, she said. We needed a spark we had lost. I understood. She didn't choose me for strength. She chose me for something far more human. Our species' ability to adapt, to change, to survive chaos. My mind burned as she pressed her forehead to mine. Her skin glowed like molten pearl. Give me your chaos. Give me your mortality, and I will give you eternity. It felt like my soul unraveled, my memories torn apart and absorbed into her. I wasn't creating heirs. I was being used as raw material to ignite something new. Pain swallowed me, then darkness. I woke in the nest again, weak and hollow, like a piece of me had been carved out and taken away. My transformation was complete. My heartbeat was slower. My skin glowed faintly. I felt neither human nor monster. I waited in the silence until the guards returned. But this time, their posture was different. Not hostile, reverent. The queen entered, carrying something close to her chest, shapes wrapped in a soft, luminescent membrane. Her brood, my children. She guided me into the ritual cavern, now transformed into a massive glowing nest. With careful precision, she placed the shapes down. 7 large, leathery eggs, each pulsing with swirling light. When they hatched, I braced myself for horrors. Tentacled creatures, abyssal predators, mutations blending her power and my humanity. But what emerged were human babies, 7 of them, crying softly, tiny hands reaching blindly in the dark. I stared in disbelief. These weren't monsters. These weren't soldiers. They were human. The queen's voice entered my mind, softer than ever, carrying the weight of 1,000 years of sorrow.
I did not create them to fight. The war is already lost.
She looked at the children, our children, with a grief so ancient it chilled me.
The Silence will come for this world. My species cannot survive it, but yours might.
And suddenly everything made sense. The ritual, the transformation, the sacrifice. She wasn't trying to build warriors. She was building an ark, a hidden cradle for humanity in the deepest place on Earth, far from the destruction she knew was coming.
These children carry your spark, pure human life, born in a place the Silence cannot reach.
She turned to me. You are no longer my prisoner. You are their guardian, their father. Prepare them to inherit a silent world. My ship sank. The Abyss Queen claimed me. She promised I would help her spawn monsters. And she kept her promise, because in a universe ruled by darkness, there is nothing more terrifying or more beautiful than hope. And I am their father.